So I've lost a mother. I've lost a brother.
What? Never told anyone this.
Look, Shaz, you were saying it's great how a chef can give us what? Home remedies.
Yes, and how, our bodies respond to food in certain ways. Because I didn't know that. That's an interesting fact, that if you want to come off warm, drink something warm. And I can think in the workplace if I've given other people warm drinks so that they were more receptive.
So less sparkly.
Exactly.
You are so spicy today. And speaking of spice, we will be talking to my good friend, Chef and Tea, Dr. Nandi. And Chef and Tea, I love how you really see food as medicine.
Oh, 100%. That's my thing. Like, I engage with food differently. I'm thinking about food 24/7.
Right.
I'm sleeping, I'm thinking about what goes in my body tomorrow. So I use food as medicine. I try and self-heal with food, spices, all sorts of things. So I'm very intentional with it because
Your health
food,
is wealth, absolutely.
Yep.
Do you use it as like a
starts
medicinal swap out? Like if I've got a headache,
Yes.
I'm going to rub some green leaf on my nose type thing. Is it like homeopathic in that way?
Not really. What I do is obviously I research. I research a lot around food, but I look at what benefits I'm getting from what I'm putting into my body. So I'm intentional. Like I like to avoid
every meal.
anything that's processed because we're not intended to have processed food anyway.
Right.
Absolutely.
So I want it from the soil. I want it fresh from earth. I try and avoid meat because I know that it's pumped with hormones. Try keyword.
I was about to
Listen, I'm a flexitarian. I'm trying to be vegan, but I'm a flexitarian because meat is too good. But I try because meat is pumped with hormones, and that's the stuff that's getting you sick, or at least for me, in my case. I found that the hormones that was in the meat was like skyrocketing my estrogen.
Affecting you negatively, absolutely, yeah. So
And
more medical
estrogen,
complications.
yeah, of course, because if you're struggling with fibroids, then your estrogen is high. Now you need to avoid things that
They're going to spike it
it up. Yeah.
And you did effectively heal yourself through food, and
I
that is a story. I don't know if I'm itching for us to get into the story, but
Okay,
we've been
let's
here
get
all
into
day.
it. Let's get into
and
it.
you want to get into it?
Let's get into it.
Are you ready to share that story?
Yeah, I'm ready. Listen, it's been a journey. It's been years. It's been years of dealing with my fibroids quietly on my own and finding ways of trying to eliminate them from my body without going under the knife.
Okay, I was about to ask you.
Apparently
consider.
Because they grow back.
Absolutely.
They grow back. So for me, I didn't like the idea of being cut and still not being fixed. So I then researched how to use food to fix me. So anything green, because that stuff fixes, it puts down your
gut health as well.
Yeah, so gut health. I look after my gut. I make sure I have enough fiber in my system. I make sure that I drink enough water. I make sure, just different things, and you find that if you do research, and I'm not ready to, in this platform, I want to talk about it, but I am definitely in the future going to make it my business to make sure that every woman knows what the solutions are. So I'm still self-teaching and learning, but I've healed myself, or I've gotten my body to a place where I'm more comfortable in my skin,
And that's not, Nti, I remember the first time you told me the story, and I'm so grateful that you're comfortable sharing it with us now. And I know you and I went back and forth and debated, like, do we, don't we? And I was like, Nti, the thing is, I've known you for at least 15 years now.
Years, yeah.
I've known you for at least 15 years now. And throughout the 15 years we've known each other, I've seen you grow and go from being a fashion queen with her 2 boutiques to having your own cleaning company to being an art curator in Misala to being a chef and being one of the first people to sit front row at Joburg Fashion Week with a little dog on your lap. But I remember you telling us the story that Samke, people didn't know what I was going through.
Yes, because obviously, you know, our parents don't talk about these things, so you take cue from them. You know, women issues we don't talk about openly. And I would go through the struggles silently. I'm booked for a job, I'm very excited, I'm gonna do it, and I'm planning because looks are everything, I'm planning looks around it, and then come the day, I can't even wake up.
You're
like I'm
immobilized.
paralyzed. And you don't even know how to explain that because we work with men.
It's like
How
you
do I-
glam on the outside, you look fine.
Yeah.
Meantime, on the inside, you're
struggling.
deteriorating. Yeah.
But when I look at it, I think also, you know, God has a way of humbling you. For me, it was also my way of learning compassion because I've always been a corporate girl, an overachiever, and I can do anything 24 hours in a day. Please, I'll use 20. So I never used to understand when women are like, no, I can't come in because I have my period pains. I'm like, oh my gosh, working with women, it's a problem, you know? They're forever sick. And listen, and
Then
until
I
I was
came
that
for-
girl, like I would be on the floor, flat, like pain, and you can't even be with people because you are here all the time.
Every movement feels extra painful also, right?
Yeah, and it's sad because when you look at the solutions that are out there, of course, medicine is one of them, but it doesn't guarantee that you are healed.
Yeah.
You know, what do you
Definitively.
do? What do you do for the, you know, that pain?
Yes, what is this thing that makes it keep reoccurring?
Yeah,
And let
so-
me get to that source.
100%, yeah.
And I mean, I remember you talking about how you were filming a TV show in Dubai because you've had your own food shows on ETV, Food Network, and I don't know if you're comfortable sharing that one. That one, because I saw the pictures
I
on
will,
Instagram,
I will.
and I remember where I was in my life. I was like, but God, what am I doing wrong that everyone has all these international opportunities? I'm putting in so much work, and I'm sitting here in Joburg and Ntee is living her best life, and I'm happy for her because I love her and she's sweet.
But
and
what
you're like,
about
Samke,
me?
and she's like, Samke, but you didn't know what was happening.
Yo,
Behind the
guys, like, I mean, I have never spoken about this to a lot of people, but that's one of the most traumatizing times for me. Yeah.
At the height of your career,
Most
here you're going through
traumatizing times. Like you are filming 3 episodes a day and you're on set for like 18 hours. You are in pain and I have to perform in front of the camera. But beyond performing, I must also manage my flow. You're on set and there's men and, you know, and you can feel when the heavy flow is coming and they will
Never.
And Samke, the most, like it was a gift, obviously that opportunity, but even thinking back about it, it triggers me because I was you get so anxious. And you have to show up and you're doing this for 18 days straight because we're filming 3 shows. It's my show, another chef's show, but I'm in that show and then another one together. And people have spent time to put together a set.
There's
It
no time
costs
to
at least
fall apart.
200K a day.
I can't recoup that money even if I wanted to.
They flew you to Dubai. They
Yeah.
booked you a hotel and listen, come 7 o'clock. You're out there 3 in the morning. Are we at toilet? Are we at toilet? Everybody's confused. What is happening with this lady?
Are you falling apart?
Like, are you on drugs? What are you doing? Like, why do you keep going to the bathroom? So I've had many challenges in life, but I couldn't doing abuse in life, like that journey.
Yeah.
You know, it's very traumatic because you can't talk about it openly. I can't say, guys, I'm flooding. And that's the truth. And the reality is, women go through this.
But
silently so.
I have a friend when I was still in my full-time 9 to 5, and she just naturally had a heavy flow, and she would be like, Chaz, I need you to come with me, just make sure that...
Walk behind
and there's
me.
men in the office, they're not going to understand why am I walking behind them.
They even make jokes. Why do girls go to the bathroom together?
Because
Sometimes.
you spend 2 hours in there. What's happening? What's happening when 2 or more are gathered? What's happening?
We went to an event with a friend, and the same thing. And I was like, friend, walk behind me. She's like, but you are a grown woman. You should know.
She said
But
this?
I understood because I used to be that girl.
Ooh.
You see, I used to be
So
that girl. I
going
didn't
through
have
something
compassion. I didn't
changed
understand that you could have a whole flood and things are in a second. Like it's not like and shame, but
God will teach
it
you.
stayed with me. You know, I looked at her, I was like, no, but I do understand because I was her before, you know. So you go through things for a reason. I know mine is to create awareness and also to say to women, listen, it's life. It's you know, it's life. It's part of life. You know, there's nothing to be ashamed of. Speak on these things. Let's educate, because the more we talk about it, the more you can
That's the
learn,
only way,
you know, and that's why I'm excited about this platform, because let's
Can we get
educate.
period
Make
days
it a
off in South
non-taboo
Africa?
topic.
Because you know other countries are starting to do that, where
Because they
period care is
understand.
mandated by law as not part of your sick leave.
Yeah,
It's give them 2 days a month. at
But that's
minimum.
through education and understanding.
because guys, we are paralyzed. There are those who get literally, and someone was saying on social media that, why is it like it gets worse? It feels like the period now, the pain now, but it's in the food, because we are not eating as well as our parents did.
More
So things are-
processed
yeah,
foods,
more
chemicals.
processed. It's in the food. Yeah, I left Vienna in the morning, leave that Russian alone. No, for sure, leave that bacon alone.
Processed. Russian. Choose peace.
And you know, there's so many studies now coming out about different foods and drinks. Alcohol, recently there was a report that came out that said there's been studies shown that there's a link between alcohol and cancer.
Estrogen
Oh,
as well.
absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
And
It
you know,
elevates.
we tend to think that it's only through, you know, a genetic history of such dread diseases that one would inherit them, but it's environmental as well, and how we eat and the environment and our lifestyles, you know, Uber Eats, you know, food is at the
The
door.
nails, there was also a study about the UV nails
UV lights.
introducing
That's been
cancer
proven.
into it.
That's been proven.
Okay, that is a hill I'm willing to die on. Okay. But the story of, well, not the story, but cancer is very close to you. Not because you're a medical doctor, but because you lived it. And I feel like I've known you my whole life. I met you when I was 12.
You were 13.
But 12, turning 13.
Cool as hell.
And cool as hell. And
always been.
in my mind, I'd like to believe I was. But what stands out for me is that ever since I've known you, you haven't had a mom.
Yep. You nailed it. Wow, Sam. So, I'm a silver lining kind of thinker, right? I feel that if you've gone through everything I've gone through, you have two choices. You can either crumble or you can dust off and you can rise and try find what is positive out of the story. So when people say, why are you a doctor? My answer wasn't, I want to save people. I don't like people. Let's just start there. Okay? So the whole, I want to save people, it's a calling, not quite. I had a positive role model in my mother. I saw her working her ass off. She started off as a junior nurse, obviously moved up the ranks, and she was studying. She became a matron. She worked in the ICU. So I saw how education bettered her life, and in turn bettered our lives.
Right.
So I saw a solution plan to say, okay, if you work hard, this is what it's going to get you. Hard work pays off, essentially, right? And then I was a little bit smart as well. So of course, I mean, the marks made sense. So hey, guess what? Medicine. But also, in myself choosing medicine and to see how she actually fought that cancer. So people always think that there is a formula to get cancer, right? People think if you smoke, if you drink, if there's a family history, it's coming for you. It's like this big bad word, right? Whereas my mother never touched a cigarette in her life. My mother never drank a sip of alcohol in her life. And there was never a family history of cancer.
You're kidding.
So it popped up.
And what cancer was it?
Popped up. It was breast cancer. So breast cancer, we thought picked it up early. She got both of her breasts taken off. And we thought, you know what, we've done all
Preemptively.
Absolutely, right? Took them both off. Radiation, chemotherapy, which was a journey and a half, right? And I watched her go through that. And I saw how it was breaking her. And then you see these doctors trying through sleepless nights, you know, coming through and saying, listen, I read about this thing in Australia. Let's try this. Let's try. And they're trying to save her life. And ultimately, we thought that we had won.
Right.
3 months later, she starts to not make sense.
What do you mean?
Mid-conversation. It's like, I'm
she's
talking,
not
and
making
then I
sense
say,
anymore.
fairy tale. And you're like, fairy tale? Oh, what's up with this one?
Where's that coming from? Yeah.
It started off like that, and then it became random sentences. And then we're like, but there's something wrong here. She goes back in, gets a check, and the cancer's back. The cancer's in her brain.
What?
The cancer's in her liver. Cancer's in her lungs.
Oh.
Organs that we kind of sort of need, so can't just be chopped up. So that's when you can actually see the whole journey of this is what cancer did to my family. So out of that, I said, okay, what was positive out of this? And the positive thing I saw was those people who were working tirelessly, trying to save her life, trying to make it better, trying.
Experimenting.
And I said, okay, little bright spark, I want to be that. So I already had the positive role model of working hard, go forward in life, and then that's how I want to work hard. And that's why I'm a doctor.
I want to be the one to save someone's mother.
Yeah, so here and there, save a few people, but not like the general people. You know what I mean? I really don't like people. So this thing of being like a doctor, of breathe in, breathe out for 20, 50 people a day, I was never gonna be that.
Right.
But I wanted to be in that field of, I want to make a difference in at least a person's life.
Right.
So that was my silver lining story about my mom. But yeah.
But that wasn't the same case for your brother.
My brother, oof. Okay, woo. Where's my tissue? I gave you mine. So, I've experienced a lot of loss in my life. And everyone's different. Every loss is different.
Right.
So I've lost a mother, I've lost a brother, and I've lost a husband. And I'm praying that it stops there, God. Because wow. So my mother, when you can see a person being ill,
Right.
and you get to a point where you actually have like a little silent prayer of, God, just take her. Please take her.
I'm tired.
Let her rest.
This is too much. I can see her hurting. I can see the pain. I can see it.
Yeah.
Just take her. But
You're
you said
prepared for
silently
it.
because you just like, it's a bad prayer. You don't want to pray for a person to die. But what you're seeing is not your mom anymore. So her, it was an easy one because it was a journey that I was part of and I was looking at.
Oh, wow.
You understand?
Opportunity
So
to
you have the
grieve
thing
it.
to, so basically grieve. So when she finally rested, I was like, kulungile. And I meant it from the bottom of my soul. Kulungile, Baba.
Yeah, you were grieving her while she was
And
still
I mean, you're a baby at that time. You're
was
not saying like
I was 14 years old.
Wow.
And so my father is one of those dads with a very interesting past. So I've got half brothers and sisters and. But I've got my brother, who's from my mother, and my father.
Right.
So we've got the strongest bond in the whole extended
Because you
family.
share.
Absolutely. So we processed losing her together because we had each other. Because my dad had carried on with his secretary. But story for another day. So we're back at the story now. And my brother and I held on to each other because we were each other's support structures.
Pillars.
Right? Then I will never forget this day.
How old is your brother at this time?
He's 3 years older, so I was 17 at this point, and he was 20. It's the day of my matric dance, the most beautiful day of every girl, right?
Yes, it's your first wedding.
And you have got, shoes, dress, makeup, la, 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 la. But obviously, last minute things must still be happening.
Yes.
So morning of, I think I woke up at like 3 a.m. or something stupid. I woke up super early, getting my things together, and my brother had a car, so of course he must drive me around. Can't take taxis. So, brother man drops me and a cousin of mine off in town to go, pick up this and pick up that. And I get a message. I had that phone. Drop on, get it. I look at this message and it says goodbye.
But who?
From
So
who now?
From my brother. So I'm like, goodbye. I never thought it meant what it meant, right? I thought maybe he was half sending and then he sent to the wrong person,
Yes.
I saw it, I left it. About 30 minutes later, his best friend phones me. He says, Nandi, listen, I've been trying to call your brother. He sent me a very weird message. So I'm like, oh, what's it saying? And it said goodbye. So I'm like, I got the same message. He's like, listen, I've been trying to call him. He's not answering any phone calls, but I'm by your house. I'll go see him. So at this point, I'm like, yeah, okay, no, so tell me. I mean, me, I'm here. It's
the
Nandi's
matric
day.
dance after all.
You let me know when you get
It's
there.
the day of me. So I'm just like, yeah, phone, okay, whatever. And about 30 minutes after that, my mother's best friend calls me. She says, Nandi, come home.
Oh my God.
So I'm like, no, we must still go. Da, da, da. I said, Nandi, I said come home. I'm like, but Ma Brown. And she's like, Nandi. And I'm like, hey, this
The tone is
kind
changing.
of tone. So I'm like, okay, drop everything. We're going home. So we're in a taxi now because, hey, right? So we're in a taxi, and I'll never forget the moment that the taxi turned into my street. I had cut and bruises because I just saw police cars. There were many other cars, and I saw my brother's car, which looked fine, but all the cops and people.
Like, what happened?
I opened that, literally, like moving taxi. Mid-move, opened, I rolled a bit, and I ran. I don't know what I was running towards, but something said there is something bad there. I ran. So he had an outside room that he stayed in. And of course, I'm running to his room because what the hell's happening?
Yeah.
Car is there, but where's he? They stopped me, and thank God they stopped me.
Right.
They stopped me running to the entrance of his room. They pulled me into the house, and that same mama, the same Oma Brown, held me like this. And she said, Nandi, as soon as he's gone, I couldn't believe this. I'm like, God, where? And I'm 17. I'm like, God, where? She goes, Nandi, as soon as he shot himself.
Oh my God.
Vasumzi was if you looked up perfect child in any dictionary, in any language, there he is. Perfect child. He was the smart one. He was the respectful one. Anything good was him. Anything bad was me. And here's a smart Alec, and I'm thinking, where the heck did he get a gun from? While I'm still processing, I apparently fainted. I think I was just so shocked.
Wow.
Right? And he was happy.
He just dropped me off.
So I'm like, we were laughing yesterday. We were so close. Why could you not tell me at least? Right? He had a wonderful girlfriend. Things were happening in his life. He was on a scholarship. He was getting extra money for being at, home, but, getting raise money. But he was good. So as you said, on the outside, people don't know. He ticked every box of, I am okay, I am happy.
Did you ever find out why? Did he ever leave a note?
Yeah, like why?
He left a note, and in the note he spoke more about missing my mom ever since she passed on, and he's felt like a shell after that. He mentioned the home dynamics a bit, and then he wrote a special note to his best friend, to his girlfriend of that time, who I'm still friends with, by the way.
Oh, praise God.
And something to me, and he was just apologizing.
For leaving you alone?
But later, what we then found out, and I feel like children don't get to talk about finances with their parents either. So another, write it down, a cute topic, is my father, after my mother passed away, my father got solace and his healing in the arms of another woman. And he found that helped him, but it kept him away from us. So my brother, as I said, got a scholarship. So he became my father. If I needed toiletries, guess who I was asking? Not Dada.
And he's 20.
Absolutely.
Who's also grieving.
He's driving me to boarding school to come and swipe his little FNB whatever card to pay for my school fees. You understand? So a child was robbed of a parent and a childhood. Right? So he was trying to make it easier. Right? And he had met these guys who had a panel beating shop. So because obviously the money came in like a nice trench load, so he was very liquid. So he met these guys and they came up with a scam, or like a plan, called a plan, Nandi, where they would buy a smashed car, but like slightly smashed, right?
Okay, so the
so he
damage,
buys car, they fix car, they sell 50-50. Works once, works twice. The third time he thinks, if it's working so well, if I buy 2 cars, then I get twice
double
as
it,
much.
Yeah.
Sound thinking. He does that, he gives them the money because they are going to go buy these cars and he's a student, so he goes to school. they disappeared njengomsuzo. They
With all his money.
They took all his money. So remember, now we are perfect, boy. We are smart, we are intelligent, we make good decisions, we are the responsible one. How do I come back to my family and tell my family, I can't pay for school fees. I can't do anything because I gave people my money and I can't
made
find
an
them.
irresponsible decision.
You understand? So I think because he was so used to being Mr. Perfect, right? That he did not understand, whoopsie,
okay.
I have done wrong, I have
Made a
failed,
mistake.
and then we
It's
find a
okay.
way
Take
forward.
lessons.
So obviously, in hindsight, that actually adds to my sadness to say, but did we as a family impose stress onto him?
By pedestalizing him.
Absolutely. To say, but you're the perfect one. You're the good
So
one.
always forced to be that guy.
Absolutely.
No room for mistakes.
No matter what.
Oh my God.
So that's why, that still hurts my heart so much. Yes, I lost a brother, but I wasn't ready to lose him like that. I don't think anyone's ever ready for suicide.
Yes.
But like that? And I mean, my half-sister was the one who was in the room and she had to clean all that blood. So can you imagine how she was processing her loss as well? So, yeah, that was
But just the
a
fact
knock.
that he's there with you and the family and no one notices
We saw
that
nothing.
there's a problem.
We saw nothing. You know, in my first year of medicine, there was this quote in a psychology textbook, right? It said, the saddest hearts hide behind the widest smiles. And that was true. He was happy. He was happy he made people happy. He was always joking, he was laughing, he was the life of the party. Everybody felt good around him.
So
Meanwhile, he was dying inside.
I can relate with that. I mean, never told anyone this, but my dad also unalived himself. And I remember everyone that would come, like he had a lot of friends. And everyone was like, he was so happy. Even, I mean, we're not close, but just, he was happy. That was the message. Everyone shocked. He was happy.
And
It's like a
that's
mask
such,
that
that's
people
such
wear.
Absolutely.
a metaphor to the fact that you can be happy on the outside, you can look healthy on the outside, but what is happening in your body, what is happening in your mind, what is happening with your emotions, and more often than not, we don't even know the tools to deal with what we're going through, and the silence and the lack of conversation around these topics then builds on the lie that it's just you. And that it's just you is what makes it difficult to pick up the phone and phone an anti-depression line or an anti-suicide line or say, you know what, this is not normal. Why am I bleeding? Who do I go to? Pick up the phone and even just say, who do I go to about, I don't know what this is, but I need someone, but I know it's not okay.
Yeah, I like that you bring that up because a couple of years ago, probably like 10, 15 years ago, one of my aunts had been working in Joburg for a long time, and one random day she just came back to KZN with a suitcase and a truck and everything, and she told our family that she had breast cancer. But our family was like, but you're pregnant. How do you have breast cancer when you're pregnant? All of a sudden, it shifted from she has breast cancer to pregnant, but then she had the baby. But we never heard the breast cancer story again. So I think to this day, no one knows whether she was lying because she was pregnant, or did you leave your job because you're pregnant, or you have breast cancer. She just, I think because of her how our family responded to her, even if she did have breast cancer and she decided to get radiation, we would never know because of how they responded to her.
Because you are pregnant.
Because how are you pregnant if you have breast cancer? So there's a element of lack of education around it. Then there's an element of being judged at the same time because a lot of things were happening in her life. And to your point about people not speaking about it, we then become closed off. Okay, I'm gonna suffer and it worries me because she's my aunt. So if she has breast cancer, do I have it?
Absolutely.
Just because my aunt does have it, and then you get scared.
Have you tested?
I have not.
What are you waiting for?
Scared of a diagnosis.
Oh.
So you'd rather not know versus know?
But you know, I've always grown up with the ideology, and I think around the time when I was growing up, HIV/AIDS was pretty
it was
big.
the biggest thing.
And people used to say that you start getting sick when you know. When you don't know, you. And I think I held on to that fallacy.
Even now?
I held on to that fallacy of what I don't know won't hurt
Won't
me.
hurt me. Oh my God.
And so I remember a couple years ago I did a pap smear, but I'm overdue now because the time has lapsed. For
We
me
should
to
do
go
one
back.
once a year, right? How?
Once a year. So basically,
also overdue.
if there's any cancer in your family, right? And if you're over 40, actually, yeah, a pap smear every single year.
Right.
But because of my strong now cancer in my family, I mean my mother, my 2 grandmothers, so it's coming for me. So from age 25,
it's not coming for you.
I've been checking everything. But guys, also remember, people think that if I go for a mammogram, it is painful.
Yes.
They are blood cancer markers. They take blood.
So it's not always
They
squishing
literally
and-
take some blood, look and see, do you have the following markers? Yes or no? High risk, low risk.
But here's the thing, though, to do that,
Yeah.
it's expensive. Not everyone can.
But
I mean, when you're saying
But
bloods,
it's once a
like
year
once
also.
a year, I guess. But I'm just looking at like the realities
What
of.
is more expensive? Doing your once a year bloods or the chemo?
Definitely, I mean, bloods. You can't. I mean, chemo is now you fighting for your life.
So
but
we
I'm
need
just
to
saying
just
that.
weigh it out.
Yeah, I'm just saying that the reality is that yes, one should, but most people are not even on medical aid.
True.
And most people are on hospital plan and you can't afford to. I know it's not a conversation.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
but
Yeah.
But even those that are on medical aid and tea, and I will
I'm on medical aid,
confess.
and I
This is a
don't go.
confession session. This is a
I don't
confession
go.
session.
I'm on
Get your
medical aid.
points.
I am on medical aid. I'm on Profmed, no surprise. And I will tell you now, I'm also scared of the diagnosis. In my mind, and guys, I'm just being completely honest and vulnerable. In my mind, I would rather someone say to me, Samke, you've got XYZ and you're dying next week. And I'll be like, woo, and it's over. Than Samke, you've got XYZ and
We don't know.
we don't know, or it's 2 years and then
Now it's like
I'm living in that the whole
We can do
time.
chemo, we can try and fail and try and fail, yeah.
it's a psychological barrier. It's irresponsible. And I mean, I feel even silly confessing this, but I want to be honest about where I stand, and I want to be honest about the fact that the fear of the unknown is very strong, and the fear of the what next is very strong. So I'm happy to take a step if I know how I will react, if it's a yes or no. But now, no, if I have the tools to deal with a positive outcome for a dread disease, I'm more comfortable.
Or even
But
a negative one.
If I'm like, guys, I'm single, okay? There's, you know, who's gonna look after me if I've got a diagnosis? And I don't, what is this gonna mean? How's it gonna play in my psychology? And remember, you know, I think they still do it before you get your HIV results, you know, there's a psychologist.
yes, I was
and
gonna say,
there's
is there counselling
So-
Even now.
okay.
so I mean,
But-
it's a responsible thing to do, especially because I'm telling anyone that cares to listen that I'm turning 40 this year. But I just want to tell you that I'm scared, okay? I'm scared. Look, I'm not gonna lie. It is a big fear of mine to actually go for these tests and take these preventative measures, because what if we do find something, right? But the reality is, the longer you put it off, the worse your situation, and you could really be manifesting what you don't want to come true by not taking the necessary action. And what I like with Profmed is that, you know, they have the necessary support, they have the necessary cancer support if you have the diagnosis, and they have even rewards that you can unlock by actually taking the preventative actions. So my fear of not knowing what next if I do get that diagnosis is actually unfounded, because they already know what next. They already know the type of care and support I would need if that were the case. And so really it's up to me to gift myself with the gift of going for a full medical checkup before my birthday. Hold me to it.
But that's where the power of screening comes in. So if we do our annual checks, right, the chances of picking up something early becomes higher and higher and higher.
And easier
Pick
to
it
fix.
up early, fix it early. It's like saying you have a headache. You're like, oh, I've got a headache.
But it's
And I
just-
say, take some paracetamol, and then you're good, right? But you leave your headache. And then you're like, oh, now I'm also losing weight. And I'm like, no, but you've been walking, girl, so you're looking nice. And then you're like, but now my appetite's a little bit. And I'm like, no, but now you're know, healthier and you're eating better. So, and then at the end, how? Ushwele. Yeng. cancer emotion. And it was a headache.
She had a 3-year headache, right?
You understand? Whereas pick it up early, do something about it early before it compounds.
See, the
speaking
most
of
important thing for me from this is that there's counseling, because I never knew there was counseling. You know, because I think, please, because what's holding us back and stopping us from going, it's also just, how am I going to deal with this when, you know?
So they counsel you pre-testing and post.
Okay.
So pre to say, if you come out, you are A or you are A, what does it mean to you? And then they talk through
girls,
that.
Let's go. Hurry and read Andy Pap smear.
So we're going to check up dates. Check up dates. Put it in the diary.
We're doing our boobs, we're doing everything.
Okay.
Check up date. Put it in the diary.
Now I wish there was counseling for anyone dealing with fibroids, because guys, this is traumatic. There was nothing.
Start a group.
You start the group and
Yeah.
See, I need
Starting
feel
a
the
group.
need.
And my friend's daughter has endo, so...
Oh, and that's just as painful.
WhatsApp group.
But remember already.
You see, so we...
Okay,
Two members in.
because listen, you need to speak to people that have been there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
No,
It does feel lonely.
It would actually resonate more coming from you
Who's gone through it.
me.
Yes.
100%. And
You
we're doing
understand?
it. I mean, 2025
As a
is
doctor,
the
it
year.
means
We're doing
nothing.
it.
2025 is the year.
Yeah, we're
Are you doing it?
Oh, I'm doing
Shake.
it for sure.
By the end of the year, Auntie, I want to see it.
No, by the end of the year, we'll be looking back at what has happened in terms of activities towards me creating awareness and reaching out and say, come, here's a sister. You know, I want to go
Got
to
you
school.
on camera.
Yes, you want to go
We
to
got you on
school.
camera.
Oh, no, for sure. We're doing
Guys,
it.
hold her to account.
Yeah.
At chef_T is her Instagram. If you don't see anything about a group and fibroid support, then you better like message
Then we
her
come
and
for
say,
her.
"Man,
Listen,
we're waiting."
And I'm going to make sure you eat correct. And I'm making
Yes.
sure, yes, you
But
eat
that's
correct.
Let's talk about
Yeah, no, for sure.
How do we
Yeah, yeah.
resolve it while
Yeah.
we're on medication?
Using
How do we
food,
meet
absolutely.
the medication
Yeah. Because
halfway
everything
with the
plays a
food?
role, right?
100%.
I love that approach. We should open like a, you
what?
know, medicine, food, whatever.
All of it all together.
I know, and Tia, I was telling someone that through you, I consulted this Asian doctor who basically heals through food.
Oh,
and
you got the connection.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Samke went to war about that guy in one of our
Listen.
WhatsApp groups.
Have you
Yeah.
been?
I haven't. She never gave me his number.
No, if you go to that man, you'll come back a different person. Like acupuncture, obviously, you go and get acupuncture, and then he puts you on a diet, which is a vegan diet, and no alcohol.
That's
and
where he lost
For how long?
No, life, babe.
For life.
I mean, some people, I've seen people, because remember when you eat right, things like diabetes, high blood pressure, you can reverse them. You can reverse them. Yeah. So
I was pre-diabetic.
For a whole year, I was getting acupuncture twice a week. I was like Dr. Lou.
You reverse aged. Like when I saw you again, your skin was glowing. You'd lost weight, but you weren't looking gaunt like you were.
And like people were worried, including my mom.
Are
Are you okay? I won't forget.
Diabetes.
Why are you losing weight?
No, you can't lose weight with amongst the black people. You can't lose weight.
You're struggling. But well done. No, but that
Yeah.
takes discipline.
And also, he puts you on like a diet where it's like intermittent fasting.
Okay.
You eat only 8 hours a day. So the rest of the time I don't eat. I start eating at 11 and I stop eating at 4 or 5 because we are not meant, guys, we are overworking our bodies. Our bodies were not meant to work
Too much
overtime. Overstraight. Doctor, yeah. So eat and stop eating ka 5 and then eat again the next day.
Allow your body to rest.
And your
So what are you doing the whole night?
Yeah.
So
My last dinner is 5. You listen.
As in you're chewing at 5 p.m.?
That's your last meal of the day.
My last meal of the day is before 5. You are going to get hungry. And let me tell you, no, listen.
By 7, 8,
doctor.
like,
I guess sure.
What am I supposed to do with my life?
No problem, guys. Listen, we are using food as toys or things.
Entertainment.
Entertain yourself, you know.
Comfort.
You're sitting there in the house, you're not even
Nibble,
hungry.
I'm bored.
A hobby.
But you're
Exactly.
overworking your system. It needs to take a break. Fasting is really good for us. So I fast. I mean, it's 2 years in.
I mean, look at
You
you.
look so
Yeah.
good. You look so good.
I get
It's a testament to you doing good things.
100%, yeah.
Mari, bojwala yona.
So guys, as I want to talk about what's your one healthy habit? Like what's your one, habit that you're proud of, preventative strategy, around health, especially because you've gone through a health journey. You've been a victim of someone, passing away from a dread disease. You had your big weight loss surgery. You speak about how the relationship with food has changed. I want to take inspiration from you guys because my only habit is like watching vegan videos, but
It ends there.
that made me hungry. Let me order some wings. I'll watch a Netflix documentary on how you shouldn't eat meat. I'm like, oh, that steak looks good though. Woolies.
Opposite.
Listen, guys, it's not easy. I mean, I remember my first month with Dr. Lou, because I started the journey over vegan with Dr. Lou. I would cry. Because I
Really?
miss a burger. I would
Because your
cry.
body craves
Yeah,
these
you
bad
can.
things.
Your
And I'm
neighbor
craving it.
smells getting Mr. D delivered.
But for me, this is what I didn't say. Because remember, your red blood cells, they are short because you have
By your iron intake. Well,
yeah,
lack of iron.
lack of iron. So the results, you're tired and short breath and all of those things. And then now I'm high energy, So I was trying to fix things. Like my body was exhausted
It's a
because of this.
process.
So I had to stop. Like I would stop, but you are depressed. It hurts your feelings because you're sitting with people and enjoying pizza and you want it, but cheese is not good for you. So my thing, Samke, is fiber. I start with fiber in the morning. I make sure I hydrate. It's very important. I make sure I use all the green stuff, good oils, and cabbage is a superfood, guys.
My fridge would love you.
Please. Yeah, I know cabbage has fat rep.
Cabbage.
I'll give you a recipe. I have plenty,
We'll
guys.
buy your recipe, bro.
Like
we
you can
go.
make it a steak, you can do a whole lot of things. But I
Cabbage
make
steak.
sure, I make sure good fiber because gut health is important.
Yeah.
Good fiber, hydrate, and make sure that I have a lot of green stuff, just intentional, and then fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, and walk because obviously you want to keep active. I walk. I have a dog, so. It keeps me active, so every day we are out walking. So do what you can. You see, I didn't even say gym because every time you think,
be active.
just be active.
But aim is to
Bad.
move.
Yeah,
To add on to that, one thing that people do take for granted, and when I was in my weight loss journey, is no matter how well I ate, no matter how well I gymmed, if I didn't sleep properly, the weight was not going anywhere.
Yeah.
But as soon as I went back to my 8 hours, I wake up in the morning and the scale has moved. I was like, okay, the body's regenerating.
It's the
I
cortisol
need to
levels.
sleep.
You were stressed. Absolutely.
So because I'm a night owl, I've had to prioritize sleeping.
Well done.
So that's my healthy tip because the gym and stuff is
That's your
standard,
tip.
but the sleeping because we get addicted to the Netflix and the overstimulated. If I don't sleep, my body's suffering, always drawing from nothing, drawing from nothing.
I have to prepare for like 2 hours to sleep. If I'm like, okay, I want to sleep I'll be honest, okay, midnight.
Yeah.
I need to start preparing from 10, like
I'm
talking
like
to
you.
myself,
What
like,
do you
okay,
do?
Sam,
Yeah.
all right,
Sleep
let's go
hygiene.
take a shower.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
Yeah.
leave the screen alone, okay?
Yeah.
You've checked all the family WhatsApp groups.
Turn down
You're
the
fine.
lights.
There's
Leave it,
nothing more to
okay?
do.
Let's read a book, the book will have
But
me
then
out.
you
10
still
minutes.
still go back to the screen.
Wow.
And then I tell myself, don't touch the screen. But I'm not the person, if you leave me to just get into bed because it's time to sleep, I, on a normal day, will fall asleep at 3:30.
Yeah, I'm also like Samke. Like it takes
I'm a
me
night
a
owl, but not that
while.
much of a night
No, it'll take 3:30 in the morning.
Train your brain to switch off. Put more emphasis into that, whether it is breath work or meditation, but you need to switch off because you never stop.
I listen to
know.
white noise, that helps me sleep. As soon as that white noise, my brain knows, oh, we're sleeping.
It's time now.
Yeah. I like the sleep one. We don't talk often enough about it, and it's something I'm gonna work on. And I'm gonna build in like little rewards. Like, you slept for 8 hours, 3 days this week.
Get the watches. That'll tell you it's time to sleep.
I love the reward part because I do that with myself. I reward myself a lot. Like you do good, indeed. Come, let's go buy
I've
you
seen the
something.
candy, girl. Yeah, you've been rewarding yourself, child.
You've been doing good. Well done. I'm
Dr. Nandi, what's your
Yeah. As a doctor, what's your go-to?
And as a person, not even just as a doctor, like be honest.
Ooh. I be spicy, right? The one thing I had to learn, it's okay to say no.
Hey. Yeah.
Think of how much pressure we are faced with as professional black females in any industry.
Okay, okay.
Any industry.
She took it there.
Name it, and I'm telling you,
Probably
it is everywhere.
overachieving.
We are taught throughout all of our lives, you are strong.
Hey, yo.
You can do it all. You can be a wife, a mother, and you're not going to break a sweat, and we don't complain about it because that's a sign of weakness. So I had to learn to say, Nandi, it's okay to be selfish as a mother. It's okay to tell your kids, I don't want to do that now. I'm not able to do that now. Let's rather do it then.
Yeah.
The power of saying no to people who want to use you for their financial gain. Friends who want to use you for your status. People who are not there because they're actually in your corner. It's the power of no, guys. And not no, ... I can try make a plan. I can.
No is a
Straight
full sentence.
Just straight no.
No with a period.
Boundaries.
And you stand by it. And you keep practicing that because we were taught that you never say no. You must do it all.
And that's what kills us.
So that's been my greatest thing. Once you take back that power of, firstly, it's okay to not be okay. I have days where I lie in bed and that's
Please,
it.
you deserve
I
it.
ain't showering. I ain't going nowhere.
So glad you said you're not showering because I was like, oh, I said that in another episode. None supported me.
No, but it is like the cutest thing,
It's
guys.
okay.
Like spending the entire day just
Showering
loving on
is
yourself.
exhausting.
Leave showering to another day again.
Tomorrow, you are squeaky clean. You
Like
are
nothing
back to being who you need
happens.
to be because you poured into self. So it's okay to not be okay. And when it's not okay, you take that not okay and feel it, process it.
Yeah.
And then you figure out how to get better. If you need help, seek help. Whether it is professional lines, whether it's a psychologist, a psychiatrist, a good friend, a family member, a pastor. People don't even think about pastors.
That's true.
That's still there.
That's it, and wait after
If you-
someone to talk to you.
Absolutely. So reach out and get the help. And then no. That's it. That's my top 3.
No is a full
That's
sentence. My healthy habit, listen, going into therapy last year changed my whole life. It changed, me last year this time, I was looking at my diary, because I journal a lot, right? And I was looking at my journal entries from last year this time, and like, oh damn, who's that? Like, that wasn't even important. Like, what were you doing?
Yeah.
And it really gave me such clarity, and it gave me the self-belief that I can take that first step forward in my physical, taking care of my physical health. I joined ballet, as you guys know. I'm not a gym girl. Let me dance and twirl. I'm happy. The first step in even trusting yourself to make business decisions. Because at some point, my brain was misfiring, like literally misfiring, because of the chronic stress that I was under. It gave me hope, and that's what depression is, and that's what even coming back to suicide is. It's a sense of hopelessness.
Absolutely.
And
They see no way forward.
No way
out.
forward. Yeah, no way out. Like there's no way out of this. And I'm glad that I used my therapist, and I've seen an improvement in every area of my life by touching this one thing, and it's a journey, and I'm gentle with myself. It's not going to happen overnight. I'm not going to put myself under pressure to say, well, pre-COVID you were here and you were, no. We're here now.
comparisons.
We're here now.
That is a moment.
And the car, has been in an accident. Yes, it's gone for panel beating. You can't expect to go back to gear 5 on the highway. Start on gear 1. If something shakes, take it back to the body shop, child. Gear 2, if something shakes, take it back to the, you understand? Just easy does it. Easy does it. Easy. And that's where I am, and I've seen such a huge improvement in my life through that.
And look at that, just taking care of yourself. It reminds me of one of these quotes that I like to float around, and I should probably take my own advice, but it always says, you always think you have 100 problems until you have a health problem. Then you have one problem. How many times have we heard prevention is better than the cure? And honestly, after today's episode, I'm inspired to take charge of my own life. Being someone who's had medical aid and being afraid to go and check, it's always been very selfish. But I actually want to, bring solace to my family, to the people that I might leave behind, because if I don't get checked, I'm also affecting them.
Yeah. or even just the cost of the care you would need, you know, regardless of the outcome of the diagnosis. You know, we tend to think, and this is an insurance reality,
Right.
that South Africans are overinsured for life and death, but underinsured for, you know, long-term, you know, terminal, well, not terminal, but dread disease that is not terminal, or temporary disability. And so we tend to think in very black and white. We don't think about gray.
Absolutely, and I never want to put my family in a position where they have to sell assets just to pay for my healthcare. And so I think getting healthcare and the appropriate healthcare for anything that could happen for yourself in the future is the right step, not just for you selfishly, but for the people that you could possibly leave behind.
Yeah, we saw how, you know, the breast cancer, Nandi's mom's breast cancer, had such a huge financial impact on the brother because of, you know, inadequate financial planning, and that was a stark reminder that the knock-on effects of not taking ownership of our health and anything that may have to do with it will impact others.
So my lesson for today is prevention is better than cure.
All of us, by our birthdays, are we diligently so promising to
Pinky
say,
promise, right here, right now.
All right.
by our birthdays, it is on.
It is on. I'm getting my birthday is July. Yeah,
We have
Mine is
knowledge of where we
October, so-
stand,
Okay.
no matter what the outcome.
All right.
Yes.
That's a topic for my next therapy session.